My name is Stephen Breckenridge Oliver, and I'm making a video today about one of the compositions in which I'm about to write. I wrote a composition yesterday explaining the neutral field and its creation of the flux. And today I'm writing this video I'm making about what I'm about to write is the explanation of how an ionic polaric thruster can be turned into a hyperspace engine. Okay, there's positive, neutral, and negative. All right, there is the shell, and there is the inner coil. All right, with the coils of this type of engine that go inside the shell. All right, now the shell is based on the more surface between the two closest points, and electricity always goes to the closest point. And as we are aware, electricity is fifth state matter. For those of you that are not aware of what fifth state matter is, there are 5 states of matter: solid, liquid, gas, plasma, micro. You are all probably familiar with the first 4 states of matter. Now, with the 5th state of matter being micro matter, that is matter in which can travel through other states of matter, such as light, sound, cell phone waves, television waves, radio waves, these types of matter. Okay, they create a flux field, as we discovered. I discovered it. I didn't actually discover it myself, but I discovered its existence as I was studying electricity. And we found that power lines cause cancer. And we discovered that this is done with the flux field frequency, effective to the biocellular frequencies of normal and abnormal cells. Abnormal being cancer, meaning if you inhibit the normal biocellular communication frequencies of, say, antibodies, white cells, while you enhance the biocellular communication frequencies of abnormal cells, such as cancer, leukemia, such as that, then basically you are allowing the abnormal cells to overcome the normal cells with the biocellular communication tampering. That's basically, whether it be intentional or unintentional is irrelevant. The power company and their liability, that is only after they are aware. I mean, because Tesla wasn't aware when he introduced it in 1901, the World's Fair. So it's that simple. There is zero potential in which Tesla was aware, in my opinion, or he would not have endangered anyone intentionally. Okay, that being said, getting back to the engine. Okay, all right, the 2 points between the positive and negative coil, the positive being the less than the point. It's just a single point, one small point, and the negative being a broad point. Okay, and it always goes from the negative to the positive. Therefore, the torque in the negative with a broad point being drawn towards the positive and a specific point, because there is less resistance with a specific point. As you broaden the point of emanation with the negative, and you finite the specific point with the positive, there is more force required, there's more resistance required, that is to say, from the negative than there is in the positive. That is why it goes, torque is applied, provided you harness it in the ionized polaric thruster engine. And you amplify the positive and the negative with inner coils. Positive coil is quite simple. You return or you exit the charge, the current, to the center of the coil, and everything goes towards the center. Alright, with the negative coil, you charge or you exit or you draw from the exterior of the coil, and therefore everything is negative. Now, the neutral shell, okay, once you apply a neutral charge to a neutral shell, then it provides an ambient flux in which the positive and negative can exploit to provide additional torque. For example, in the previous type of ionic thruster engine, during the research stages, they would hold the positive charge in a deep well mercury hold. Now, this weighs a lot, and it doesn't really hold that much. I mean, it'll hold some, but it doesn't do enough. It proves it can be done, but the method of operation using a deep well mercury hold is not practical. I mean, you know, it proves that you can produce torque. However, the amount of torque to hold that much mercury and use it in an engine is just not practical. It's like using 10 pounds of torque to move 20 pounds, and it's just not practical. So, use the, I figured it out with the polarized amplification effect. Alright, now the global polarized amplification effect, for example, is when the Earth is at a certain point of orbit, and I discovered that it's in Australia, and as it moves through the globe, it winds up in what we call the Bermuda Triangle. Now, this emanation of a quarantine zone in Australia, it exhibits the ability of this, and it also tells me that the neutral that is created by this force is the secret to antimatter. After going through the planet, this emanation of magnetic force, which I believe is a unified point, according to Einstein's unified field theory. I do not believe it is theory. I believe Einstein was right, and I believe that is what we call a unity point, and it is exhibited in that theory's theorem. The calculations in which Einstein conducted, I believe he was correct. Now, I'm not able to conduct these calculations. I'm able to figure out the physics on it because, well, I studied it. And when in 1986 I had it figured out, I just did not realize that Einstein was right because I had not studied Einstein at that point in time. Another example of that in regards to my perspective would be when I figured out that light could be sped up. However, I had no idea at the time that was confirmation of Einstein's E equals mc squared. I realize it now. Einstein was right. Alright, now what does this mean to an ionic polarized thruster? It means hyperspace potential. Now, as we charge the shell,